Alfonso, this is Optimus Prime. Transform and roll out.
What's good, Alfonso Nation? Welcome back, everybody, one and all in here, out there and everywhere, to another episode of Teletraan unboxings. That is what I'm screaming. In this video, we have a pretty cool Galvatron remake. This is a remake of the Unique Toys Galvatron, courtesy of our friends at Shozy Store. Shout out to them. Thanks for sporting the figure. If you guys want to get him, he is in stock currently at the time of shooting this video at shozystore.com, so I'll have the link in the description. But this guy is essentially like an upscaled version of the Unique Toys Galvatron, the one that we have right here, courtesy of my friend Nick's Plastic Shop. So, this is called Fury Leader FL-01, and he comes in a pretty heavy big boy package, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if they're gonna do like a lot of heavy modifications to the paint and the overall sculpt, but this is a new figure, and it's essentially the remake of the Unique Toys Galvatron, so let's get them open. But before we do, let's take a look at the packaging. So, it does kind of simulate the Unique Toys version. Looks like that's the figure. You got him there with that big glowing, the glowing circle in his chest. He is called Fury Leader, and I guess the model is FL-01. And then you have a Fury Leader right here on the side, and then you got Fury Leader on the other side, just like that. And the back is the same as the front. Pretty simple. I actually like it. It reminds me of the Unique Toys packaging itself. So by all means, let's go ahead and crack them open, baby. All right, seal is broken. We're getting this, we're making it happen. Galvatron is one of those interesting characters. Like, I don't like the concept of transforming him and all of that. And we stand Megatron here, but his design is so sick and the figures are so great. It's like really hard to resist sometimes. So let's take them out and see what we're working with. Here we go. Oh my God. Holy, this is a big boy. I'm not seeing anything like right away that's a striking difference from the original. Wow. This dude is beautiful. Oh. Oh. Holy macaroni. I was about to say something else, but I didn't. But I'm not gonna lie though, like straight up, he's gorgeous. Man, he's nice. Look at this. Is this die-cast? Die-cast missiles. We stand. That's not plastic. You hear that? That's metal, baby. I can feel the die-cast in the feet. I can feel the heaviness in the figure. This is the kind of stuff I really like. This is that premium, like upscaled feel. Really takes over a shelf. You've got a lot of the same paint additions. You've got touches of gold, touches of blue. You've got touches of like a darker, like orange, and nice details all throughout the leg section. Nice details in the knees. He does have ratchet joints, and they do arrive fairly tightened, so I don't really see any joints that need adjustment so far. But we are going to get into articulation, but my goodness, this is a nice big boy. He does have die-cast joints on the legs and hips, so that's a pretty nice, that's good for stability. Very nicely built figure. You know, some of the third parties or fourth parties or whatever you want to call it, some of the remakes and the KOs, you can tell they're KOs by the way they feel, the quality of them. But with this one, and I have seen those, like that Shockwave I have right there, that's an example. Like, he looks great, but then when you pick him up, it's a disaster. Galvatron, I'm pleased to report this is not the case. So for accessories, I'm just going to set them aside here. We do have the hand cannon. This is the cannon that we see him with in the film. Very nicely detailed, exactly remade from the Unique Toys version. It's the same thing. I love these missile pods. Purely silver, metallic, like die-cast missiles. This is awesome. You got like a row of 6. Well, you've got rows of 3 that combine into 6 missile pods, and you get 2 of them. 2 die-cast missile pods. So let's go over a little bit of articulation before I get into anything else. We do have the shoulder pads. It's kind of on a spring here, so you can maneuver it up and down. You've got a spring for this, and you've got a spring for to go outwards, which means his arm can come all the way up. Arm can come down. Arm bends upwards like this. There is a double jointed arm, it looks like, and it's got a really nice range of motion there. You can bring the arm back down. There is a rotation on the arm at the shoulder, not really the elbow. The hand does have individually articulated fingers, so he actually has 3 points of articulation, 1 at the base and 2 on the fingers, and that's for each individual finger and for the thumb as well. So, and then also obviously the hand does rotate around like this. He does have shoulder ratchet articulation at the shoulder. The legs can come down a little bit to clear a way to move the legs all the way out like this, and then you can bring the legs down. Legs come up on a soft ratchet. Then they have knee bend, double jointed as well. Legs are pretty stiff. You can rotate at the knee. And I'm not sure if I showed you guys. Actually, I'm gonna pull it back down, but the leg does come back as well, and it does bend backwards like that. Just be very careful. Those die-cast pieces, I feel like, are able to break the plastic, because it looks like there's plastic screwed into die-cast. So if you pull too hard on it, it can probably snap that plastic. I'm just looking at that, and I can already foresee some potential problems. The foot actually does pivot, and you do have some ankle tiltage. Very stiff, but it's there. You just kind of have to maneuver it. You can probably rotate the waist all over. So probably in order to do that, you have to untab this butt piece, and then he can go all the way around like that. And then you would have to retab this piece in the back here to secure him in place. His head can move this way, left and right. It's a little stiff. Can go up, can go down, and he can kind of move it around, but it's really heavily obstructed by all of his chest. So here he is with the Unique Toys version. This is the regular Unique Toys Galvatron at the regular scale. So I am noticing that there's die-cast joints on the waist, whereas the regular Unique Toys version has plastic on the waist. I'm just noticing that. I will say, compared to the Unique Toys version, the joints are way looser. On this guy, you know, the joints are extremely too tight on the Unique Toys Galvatron, so this one's way more posable, I would have to say. That's a side-by-side of the two. Looks like the Unique Toys version also does have LEDs, and this is your side-by-side comparison of the Unique Toys version and the oversized KO version. Looking side by side, you definitely can see that there's a darker paint. There's some darker touches. On this one, you see that the chest just has like regular paint, just regular silver, but on the Unique Toys version, there's like a darker touch, like they added like a darker paint. So on the head sculpt, on this version of the head sculpt, on the KO version, you got the blue stripes in the head sculpt, but they did not add the darker weathering and like the dirty touch to his like mouth area. Whereas on the Unique Toys version, that's exactly what they did in exchange. They have the darker paint on the mouth area, but there's no blue stripe. Overall, I mean, they both look very nice, and they both have a very good shelf presence. Now, what I am noticing on the blaster, definitely you can see a pretty noticeable difference. The blaster on the KO version has the nice blue touch to it, whereas it is just a simple silver on the regular. The weight difference really isn't that much. It's really almost the same, but this one kind of feels a little bit heavier, which is strange. Maybe that's just how I'm doing it. Maybe I have it wrong, but that's just what it feels like. And then to move on with the comparison segment, we're gonna compare him with some other figures that might be relevant to, to scale with. This is how he looks with the Transformers Studios Series Ironhide for Bayverse, just to give you guys an idea of what a Voyager class figure looks like alongside Big Boy Galvi. And moving on up, we have the Metagate Haiku Drift. Another incredible, stellar figure this year, but that's a side-by-side of him with Galvatron. He definitely is towered by this Galvatron. It's an acquired taste, but here he is. Next up, we're gonna move on to the Transformers VT-01 Peru Kill Lockdown. This is the KO Peru Kill, the visual toys, and this is how they look together. Once again, Galvatron just absolutely towers over them. I'm pretty sure you'd have to have a whole lineup of oversized for this to make sense, but moving on up, we're also going to compare him with the Unique Toys Challenger. That's it. This is actually the KO Challenger. I think it's the BS-03. I'm forgetting model numbers by the day, but that's what he looks like with him. I can kind of get away with that. You know, Galvatron is supposed to be a little bit larger than Prime, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, that's how they look together, and I'm pretty sure you can pull that off fairly well. Like, that's not really a problem. And last up, of course, I'm just going to do it again to show you a really good side-by-side comparison. Here he is with the original Unique Toys Galvatron. Honestly, I mean, like I said, it's like a hit and miss. There's a couple of things that you got to keep in mind. A couple of, like, differentiations in the details, paint job, but the overall sculpt and shelf presence is there. There are some die-cast pieces on the KO that the original doesn't have, and there's also some paint additions that the KO has that the original doesn't have. But then there's some paint additions on the original that the KO doesn't have. There's some details on the original that kind of looks better in a compressed chassis that the original cannot pull off, so I think it's left to preference, but honestly, you can't go wrong with either one of these. But I honestly like this guy. I really do. I think he's a nice value for the price. You know, it's kind of like a good play on, and this guy does convert. I didn't convert him in this video, but he does convert just like the original Unique Toys do. So he does have LEDs. I don't have the batteries, but he does have LEDs. Great articulation, great detailing, nice scale, and very nice weight to him, so I'm not really noticing any immediate issues with quality. Obviously, it'll take more tampering with, but even like the original, this particular sculpt is something you don't want to stress too much in terms of handling because of the parts that are sticking out. It's very easy to break, but so far, I haven't had any issues with him, and I like him. He does not come with a little Joshua Joyce like the original Unique Toys do, so if you want a human character, then that's something to keep in mind. The Unique Toys have that, this guy doesn't, but I gotta give him a nice solid 10 out of 10. I don't really have any issues. I don't see anything that would be a problem. He has everything, you know, aesthetically that the Unique Toys version would have. It's just much larger. Don't see any quality problems, and I do like that they added some additional paint apps, and yeah, it just looks really good. I don't have any issues. So that's pretty much it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, slam dunk a like on it. If you're new, subscribe. If you want to follow me on my socials, I'd appreciate it. Make sure you support me in any free way that you can. It really does help the channel, and I appreciate all of my new followers and subscribers in the recent months. It's been growing pretty well, so it's really good to see. But thanks for watching, guys. That's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, put it in the comment section, and I will catch you guys in the next unboxing. Thanks for watching. Till all are one. Roll out.